What's up, YouTube? I'm Guy, and today we're going to be talking NATO straps. I'm extremely happy to be able to bring this review to YouTube today. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've reviewed, well, first things first, what we're going to take a look at is a comparison between two premium NATO straps. One strap from the company PhenomeNato and another strap from Omega. I have reviewed PhenomeNato straps in the past, and I think that they are outstanding high quality products. I really like them quite a bit. I can't stop singing their praises. On the other hand, we have this Omega strap, which is something that I haven't had any experience with until very recently. It was loaned to me by a viewer, and I send him a very gracious thank you for sending it over to me. I appreciate it so much. But before that, I didn't know anything about them other than what's been said on the internet, and basically that is that they're extremely high quality. Well, I can tell you that is true. And having spent a little bit of time with it, I can say absolutely it's a very high quality strap. Now, we're going to take a close look at these and compare them side by side. But right off the bat, what can I say? What can I tell you before we jump over to the tabletop? The Omega Nato Strap probably is a little bit higher quality than the PhenomeNato Strap, if I had to be 100% objective. But let's talk about price points. The PhenomeNato Strap is $40, and the Omega Nato Strap is $185. And I believe their straps go up to as high as $250, depending on the materials and, I don't know what all goes into their pricing, but the basic model one, the one that I'm going to end up showing you guys, plain black, is $185. So $40 versus $185. Is the Omega strap like 4.5 times better than the PhenomeNato Strap? I'm going to say right off the bat that no, it's not, but it is a little bit better. There's a few minor points that I think do edge it ahead of the PhenomeNato Strap, but I still love the PhenomeNato Strap. And, 99 times out of 100, if someone were to ask me what's the best NATO strap, what strap should I get, I'm going to recommend that one. That's just the way it is. Now, let me preface all of this by saying there are other high-quality straps out there on the market. In particular, another strap that I like a lot is the Blue Shark, in particular, the Blue Shark Alpha Shark. It's their high-end premium strap. But the construction of that strap, the thickness of the material, there's just a number of things that are quite a bit different than the PhenomeNato or the Omega Nato, in my opinion. Once you have them side by side in your hands, they're kind of two different animals. So we're not even going to bother talking or comparing with that one, but I do want to go on record as saying that that is also a super high quality strap. I completely agree with all of the comments that are going to say, what about the Alpha Shark? That's a great strap too. You're right, it is. It's a great strap. But today we're just talking PhenomeNato and Omega. Now, who is the Omega strap for if it's 4.5 times more expensive and it's really not that much better? A little bit, it's a little tiny bit better, if I'm being honest, but it's not that much better. Well, there's probably 3 examples that I can think of off the top of my head on why somebody would get the Omega strap over a PhenomeNato strap. Number 1, if you have an Omega watch and you just absolutely must have a matching Omega strap, I think that you're not being unreasonable, you're not being crazy or ridiculous if you're of the mentality that I have this nice Omega watch and I want a nice Omega strap. Totally fine. Thumbs up by me. I'm not going to ridicule you or tell you you're making a mistake. That is well within bounds, in my opinion. Number 2, what if you want a coloration or variation that PhenomeNato doesn't offer? That's probably one of the only shortcomings about PhenomeNato right now. Their product catalog is pretty small. They don't have a lot of variations of colors and styles of straps. Now, as I understand it, having had a little bit of correspondence with the owner of the company, they're going to be bringing some more colorations and variations to market here in 2018, I believe by summer, if not sooner. So that might not be the case in the future. But as of December 2017, if somebody is looking for a coloration or variation that PhenomeNato doesn't offer, then I guess you really have no choice. You got to look elsewhere. And maybe an Omega strap would be right for you in that scenario. Number 3, probably the only other reason I can think of that you would want to get the Omega strap over the PhenomeNato is you just have a lot of money and you want the very best. In my experience so far, this Omega strap is probably the very best. It's not a ton better than the PhenomeNato. I mean, we're going to be nitpicking to point out in the comparison when we look at them side by side which one is better. But yeah, the Omega one is a little bit better. I certainly don't believe that it justifies the $185 price point, but you know, it's the truth. It's in my opinion, and the person that loaned it to me said basically the same thing because he's experienced both of these straps. It's in his opinion as well that the Omega strap is just a little bit better. But again, very, very small, minor little details that push it ahead. So, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you're looking for a NATO strap and you come to me and you say in your opinion which is the best, I'm going to go ahead and probably refer you to the PhenomeNato Strap. It is really an outstanding quality NATO strap. The price point of $40 does seem a little bit high, in particular when there's lots of NATO straps on the market that are between $10 and $20, and even the also extremely excellent Blue Shark Alpha Shark strap, that's even a little bit cheaper at about $32. So yeah, it's probably a little bit of a tough pill to swallow even at $40 when there's so many other options on the market. But unless you're buying like a dozen different straps, if you're just getting a couple, one or two, I don't really see the problem with spending a little bit extra money if you can afford it for what is, in my opinion, a better strap. You know, that's just my 2 cents. So yeah, basically that is my opinion on who's this strap for, which one is better. I wanted to get that out up front, and then we will now go ahead and jump over to the tabletop view and take a close look at them, and I'll point out the little tiny details that I think make the Omega slightly better, but do keep in mind that the PhenomeNato Strap is, as its name would probably elude you to believe, it is phenomenal. It's a fantastic strap, and it is my go-to strap. You know, I'm not getting endorsed or paid or anything to make that statement. It is 100% just my opinion, and yeah, I'll stand by it until I find something better. You know, maybe there is another product out there that I'm not aware of yet. It's possible. I haven't seen them all, but right now, that's where my money is, and that's what I would recommend for most of you guys, with, you know, the few exceptions that I had already mentioned. So we're going to jump over, take a close look at that strap, or those straps, and yeah, wrap this video up. Hopefully it won't be too long. Alright guys, be right back. Alright, well, here we have them. Both straps sitting side by side. And at first glance, you almost can't tell a difference. They're really that close. But if we get in really close, really close, and take a very detailed look at them, there are some minor differences. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start out first with the buckles. That's one of the most obvious differences. On the right, as you can clearly see, we have the Omega strap. That buckle has the Omega logo brandished in on it. On the left, we have the PhenomeNato Strap. The quality of the buckles do differ. You can see that the Omega buckle is quite a bit thicker and more heavy duty. Overall, it is a little bit better hardware. Is it a make or break deal? Yeah, absolutely not. It's not like there's anything wrong with the strap that's on the PhenomeNato here. It's just a little bit thinner of a material, and it is what it is, basically. It's just a little bit more simple. I would suggest, if I had the opportunity to talk to the owner over at PhenomeNato, if you did want to step up the game and upgrade the buckles on your straps, that would seem to me to be the easiest way to start bridging the gap between these two straps in terms of quality. And it's, a very narrow gap. But if you just went to a slightly higher quality buckle, similar to the one on the Omega, you're more than halfway there, in my opinion. That's one of the biggest differences. The next thing to take a look at is the other hardware, the keepers on the straps. They're basically, for all intents and purposes, they're identical. I don't see any difference in quality between the keeper hardware in either of these straps. The Omega strap is a little bit used, so you can probably pick up some scratches there on that keeper. It is what it is. This PhenomeNato strap on the left is brand new, so it's virtually flawless. So try to ignore the little scuff marks and stuff that are on the hardware of the Omega strap. There is one minor difference, and when we get down to the final keeper on your strap, it is emblazoned or branded with the Omega name or logo. And, like I had sort of alluded to, if you have an Omega watch and you just want an Omega strap to go with it, That's fine. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But in terms of the quality of this hardware, it's more or less identical to my eyes. I don't see any difference at all. So while the buckles do differ a little bit, the quality in the rest of the hardware is virtually identical. The next minor difference, and we'll try to get in here nice and close and get good lighting, is the quality of the stitching. You can see the stitching that's holding the buckle in going across the top of the Omega strap. It's potentially slightly better. And I would have to really be nitpicking here to even point this out. But, you know, in the, I don't know, in the spirit of being 100% thorough, if I had to pick which one has better stitching, I would pick the Omega. Barely. It's very, very close. I don't know how well it's even coming in on camera, but you can see the stitching there that's holding in this metal keeper on the right on the Omega. It just comes off as slightly better stitching, ever so slightly. The stitching on the PhenomeNato strap is not bad at all by any stretch of the imagination. I just do see a very, very slight or minor variation between the stitching in the two straps. Now, the holes on the tongue ends of the straps, for all intents and purposes, to my eyes, they are identical. And on your NATO straps, that's one of the things that could be a bit of a flaw, is the holes. They could look a little rough or ragged. These both look, you know, outstanding. I can't really visually determine much, if any, difference in that regard. The last thing to really touch on is the quality of the material. Now, it is slightly different. The Omega strap, which is the one on the right here, it is, to my hand, feels a little bit thicker, ever so slightly thicker. Not even much that you can really, it's almost imperceptible, but it does feel slightly thicker to me. The other thing to notice is if you look at the edges of the straps, you see that there's this sort of different pattern to the weave or the texture. Now, the PhenomeNato has it as well if you look really close at the edge. It's not the same pattern as it is throughout the rest of the strap, but on the Omega strap, it's a little bit looser. It looks a little more, I don't know, pronounced. That sort of, it's almost like a wound weave as opposed to like a diamond pattern or something. I don't know if technically that makes it more durable or better. I will say that visually it does make it appear slightly more luxurious maybe, but it is again a very, very minor point. You can see that both straps do have that variation to the pattern of the weave in their edges. It's just that the one on the Omega is a little bit more pronounced. It's a little bit different, and you know, that might be a plus, I guess. I think it might just really come down to terms of aesthetics though, and when it's 3 feet or 4 feet away from your face on your wrist, you can't really even notice it. We're only really seeing it so good here because I'm zoomed in so very closely. The rest of the material on the straps though, it looks more or less identical. I can see that there is a little bit of a variation to it, but it feels the same other than maybe the slight difference in thickness. They both look outstanding. It's, you know, very, very minor if there is any variation or difference in the material at all. The point is they're both fantastic. They're both outstanding material. So, you know, in that regard, which one is better? It's basically a draw, but you can kind of see there is a slight difference to it. I mean, that's basically everything. Otherwise, again, at a distance here, you can't even hardly tell which one is which. It's super, super close. They're both fantastic. They're both outstanding, and I would recommend either of them, I suppose. But you know, if push came to shove and you said which one should I get, probably going to tell you to save the $140 and get the PhenomeNato. That is an outstanding strap. And again, while the Omega maybe is slightly better, I think it's probably only the right choice in certain circumstances for certain consumers. You know, it's not something that I would recommend that, oh, I have a Seiko and I want a great strap for it. I'm probably never going to say go get the Omega. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the PhenomeNato is the way to go. Or, you know, one of the other straps on the market that's much more affordable. But there you go. There you have it. I just want to do a quick review, show you guys these two straps side by side. I'm sure that, you know, there's a lot of people that have wondered which one is better, what are the differences. That's basically it. On the underside, there is one other slight difference I just remembered. It's this final keeper here. If we take a look at the PhenomeNato, it's pretty standard in that the material is sewn back over and the keeper runs through the middle. It's how they're all done, basically. On the Omega strap, it's slightly different, and I'll kind of take it apart here and show you real quick. The keeper goes all the way around, and then it has like a metal bar in the middle that goes through that folded and stitched over portion. There's no practical purpose why one might be better than the other, but that is another minor difference that I thought I'd give you a quick look at. There's also some sort of brand or, I don't know, product number information on the underside of that keeper. But yeah, just a little minor difference that I don't think is any consequence to a purchase decision, but I just remembered it and I thought I would point that out. So there you have it, guys. There is the PhenomeNato versus the Omega Nato straps. You tell me down in the comments below, which one do you think is the quote-unquote better of the two straps? Which one would you purchase if you had to put your money in the pot and pull the trigger on one or the other? I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, please subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Check the description or the notes section of this video for ways that you can help support the channel. I appreciate it, and we'll be back later on this week with another video. Take care.